This one is going to be a slightly different topic. It's really all the same thing. Got my green mix. Check out OK Raw, the channel on YouTube. It's a random shout out. I've seen him for a few years now, I think, maybe a couple, and he's always had real good information, real vibrant demeanor. Not a demeanor though, but like a essence. And yeah, he's living the life that I was living a little bit ago, being on all these organic farms. And he's been doing that for 22 years, I think. I seen in his last video where he's comparing two blenders. And yeah, so every day, all day, fruit, vegetables, smoothies and such. But yeah, just shout that out as well if you're interested in how to kind of get into a different diet. But it's not a diet, that's how you die it. But your food intake, if you're trying to shift your food intake into something more appropriate for a higher energy level, then he'll have that's the type of stuff where it's literally just like stuff that, you know, it's plants that take the light in, and then the darker green stuff, and just all vibrant mixtures of fruits and vegetables. And if you have food intake meals like that often, your energy levels are forced to increase. That's how it works. And you can also, for the most part, get it directly from the environment and the sun. But that's a little bit different. I wanted to talk about something real quick here, which is a given for everyone who's been involved in these systems, but people are still having a bit of difficulty understanding. And then there are a lot of imposter human things, which are just programmed beings that are here to muddy the waters and slow people down. And this is all about self-discovery and self-expression and the knowledge that comes forth within that. Excuse me. Kind of making an effort, not really making an effort. I was going to drink this anyway, and I wanted to do this, and I don't have time elsewhere, so it's all happening at once right now, charging and talking at the same time. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I can't drink this on camera because it's like rude. Get a green smoothie, do something like that. That's like the part of it. It's like a not a plug, but I can't think of the word. A lot of words I think of don't exist in this reality, at least. But so this is about the monetary system and how everything has gone and how it will continue to go until the changes are solidifying more so. And so right now we have a monetary system that is dominated by corporate rule. And our society, as a result, is dominated by corporations. I'm going to let you in on what is going on. The corporations are dominated by darkness. They're dominated, meaning those at the top, you want to get in, you want to get it going. Look at banker confession. Okay, banker whistleblower. I spoke on this in a previous video as far as the, what was it called? It was something about the warning. I know that was part of the title. And so basically, in another parallel, rituals are used that are, in a way, holidays. They keep the mind fresh. Imagine there's no time. You're there for 1 billion trillion years. When do you go to the bathroom? When do you do this? When do you do that? If you don't do any of that, okay, what happens when you wake up and you go to bed? Well, you wake up and then 1 billion trillion years later you go to bed. Life is one day. It can get kind of confusing. Imagine in that day you come to Earth and you want to talk to people and start a business or do whatever these corporations, not these corporations, but these groups that do this do. You wouldn't have any way of making sense of things. When the clock, 3 o'clock came around and you had to eat afternoon lunch, obviously it's not lunch, but you had to do something, it wouldn't make sense to the person. The mind wouldn't make sense of it. So to merge the two, rituals are designed, and this keeps energy levels doing this, which in there doesn't have to happen, but makes sense if in here that's all that happens. Our energy levels go up and down according to the cycles of everything. And so it's a way to keep things in rhythm, and that gets degraded with what happened here as far as an infection. And so, but the point here is that the corporations that rule here, it is a necessity that they are ruled by darkness. If whoever wanted to get to the top got to the top, and they had $2 billion to do whatever they want with, which is part of a comment in the Make Love to Fruit video where I got into a comment stream with somebody about this. And for, if they basically just had, their job was to troll the internet and do whatever they wanted to do, excuse me, or they wanted to, with $2 billion, they could do whatever they wanted, and they decided to make an army. And they got some advanced technology. This has the same thing to do with the advanced technology. That's all being held back for a reason. It's not the best reason, but the alternative isn't any better. It's actually 1,000 times worse. What is 0 to 1? What's the difference? How many placeholders are? It's an infinite amount. And so the point is that if that person just had $2 billion, wanted to start up an army, which doesn't cost $2 billion, nowhere near there. You can start an army for like a few million to $100 million, easy. What would stop them from, if they had some advanced technology, if they had anything like that, what would stop them from taking something over? So you have this syndicate conglomerate now that holds everything down, cutthroat ruthlessness. No one gets to the top unless you go through them, and they are the fathers of darkness. Or the children of darkness, because none of us are really the father. Some other being. Well, that's a necessity, because if that wasn't there, the whole place would be called Hell Earth. We think this is hell. It's close. It's ruled by hell beings, but it's not hell. It's the middle ground. That's why you still have an option to complain. If it was hell, you'd be eating fire right now and enjoying it. That's hell. Which doesn't exist in the way people think. In that sense, the hell that people think is down there and it's like, oh, suffering? No, that's this place. This is the hell of suffering. The actual hell is, they like that. A worm doesn't complain that it's a worm. That's how it works. It's when people switch around and they don't know what's going on because they're ignorant. Or people don't switch, but the beings leave their zone and go out to other zones. But that's where we get this interface, well, it's technically part of the interface system and stuff like that. If you look into Paranoid Times, their channel, they talk about the stuff. They were cleared for information release. But it's when you basically have this battle between heaven and earth, heaven and hell, where that's where they're suffering, which is also doesn't have to be suffering. It's just for those that don't know what's going on, don't know how to place themselves. But the idea is then that corporate rule is ruled by darkness, is ruled by the containment of the rituals to slow the ascent of certain people coming to power, so everything filters into something that fits into a world ruled by darkness. Because if it wasn't, it would just be chaos. It would just be some guy with, massive ordnance of explosives and guerrilla warfare soldiers from over there, and some random guy that got Stargate tech over here, and some guy that figured out how to hack into the system here and turn the Gwen Towers on and fry everybody. It would just be a constant worry. Every week there would be a new war, and people wouldn't be able to die because then the tech would come out that resolves certain diseases and disorders and could regrow limbs holographically. That's Armageddon. Men will wish to die, they will kill themselves, but they'll stay alive. So,